All right, this week on the show, we are going to be fearlessly questioning proximity with Alex Gonzalez. I can never say the middle part of her hyphenated name. I'm not going to try. I got to ask her again. She told me once. I can't remember. I apologize, Alex. I'm sorry. And the reason that I wanted to bring Alex on the show was to talk about the idea of, are we ignoring the people closest to us, physically closest to us, with similar interests? And the thing that really gets me is that, as we find these people online that share such ridiculously focused interests in the things that we enjoy, and growing up in high school and in college, and we didn't necessarily have that opportunity. Most of us, it was just kind of coming into like a thing. Facebook was just starting when I was in college back in the early 2000s, and we didn't have the opportunity to build those relationships around such passionate and strong interests. Now they're here. Now we can find those people, and when you actually physically meet in the real world, it is obviously a completely different experience. Obviously, there's a lot of tools that allow you to stay connected, such as Google Hangouts, what we use to do the live shows with every week. But, there's Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, there's, messenger apps all over the place. I mean, there's tons of stuff that keep you permanently connected to people that you probably are closer to now than your actual best friends that you consider your best friends in real life. And these people online are actually, probably your best friends and probably some of your greatest collaborators. But you don't necessarily recognize it with the same hierarchy, same authority as you would that person that exists in your real physical space. And so the question is are we neglecting? Once we are able to find those people, there has to be at least a handful of people in your actual city nearby you that you can get together with on a semi-regular basis and do that work. Is that work? Is that collaboration? Is that friendship? Is that going to be, something much greater than you would have been able to experience before if you were to focus on those things? So we're so fixated, occupied, distracted even, we'll say, with making these connections, with finding these people online, but yet we're not really all that concerned with, taking it offline. And I think this really started to kind of brew and marinate way back about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I'd say, when I went to my first kind of conference, and that was Inbound 13, HubSpot's annual conference in Boston. And I got to, see and meet some of the people that I considered mentors in the industry, and actually talk to them, people like Marcus Sheridan, John Jantz for the first time. That was a lot of fun. And I also actually met people in real life that weren't presenting, that were just attending the conference with me. And I've stayed in touch with them, and they are some of my good friends online, if you will. We collaborate and we share ideas and struggles and things like that. And I don't think that would have happened had we not spent a few days together in Boston running around the conference. And if and again, they don't even live close to me. They live in different states all over the country, and but the ability to do that, it created a relationship that is, pretty much, just kind of entrenched now. I don't see it where we, that wouldn't exist. And then, even kind of taking it one step further, and where you will see in the show coming up this Thursday is, well, I mean, if we were to then find those people even closer to us where that can happen on a consistent basis, what's that going to do? What's that going to look like? Those are the questions that I think I want to get after. I don't know if we're going to be able to answer them fully, but it's something to at least kind of start to think about, and something for you to start to explore and find those people to connect with. Once you found those people that, again, are highly focused and specific on the, interested in the things that you are, well, can you, take that to the next step and say, well, let's meet up in real life and let's have a conversation? Because those are always 10 times more productive and inspiring and inspirational and all that fun stuff than anyone wants to give credit for. So there's that. That's kind of the first part of this. But what I wanted to really take a minute to fearlessly question myself, my own little rant outside of, kind of my thoughts on the proximity front, is fearlessly questioning overloading my plate. As I do have a 9 to 5. We're about where are we at? Let's see, we start August, September. We're about 2.5 months into this whole thing, and I started at a time where in my day job, I sell health insurance for my family's agency. It was what I call the off season. If you pay attention to health insurance reform at all, they've created specific windows when people can buy health insurance now, and you couldn't buy health insurance over the summer. It's going to be starting here in November, where my life is going to be extremely busy. And I'm already starting to feel that now. As you can tell, I'm recording this a day late after it was supposed to be posted. Just taking on more than is necessary or you should, or is that even a thing? Should it not matter? Should you just do what you can and do what you can with what you have in front of you? And outside of again, the 9 to 5 working with insurance, I'm doing this. I'm fearlessly questioning every week with a bunch of different guests. Setting up the guests, and really, it's more the day-to-day stuff that is a bit of a struggle. I don't know if you struggle with this as well, but it's really just the day-to-day grind of doing the really busy work of getting the post up, accompanying some text, just formatting, getting all that stuff out. That stuff really kind of sucks the life out of me, and I hopefully can figure out a way to get that off my plate at some point here. But outside of those two things, I'm also doing a lot of work with. If you follow Ryan Hanley at all, he was a founder of what's called the Grow program, and we both come from the insurance industry. And this is a community of insurance agents. And the other co-founder, Jason Cass, has reached out to me to do a bi-monthly show to kind of talk about different stuff, insurance related, marketing, business, all that fun stuff, and kind of some kind of upping my role a little bit in that effort too. And so doing that along with the just my actual regular job going to be completely insane. There's a lot going on. Plus it seems like all of these things are creating just more stuff, more people kind of reaching out, and just different conversations that are happening, emails back and forth. I'm sure I don't want to sound like I'm complaining at all, because it's a lot of fun, but it's just I'm questioning, at what point am I starting to do some of these areas a disservice? I'm trying to keep up with every single one of them the best that I can. And I wanted to kind of fearlessly question that with you, if you have the same problem, if you feel overloaded with the different things that you're doing. And then to top it all off, obviously I want to be able to spend as much time as possible with my family, and to not have really any of that cut into that. And then on top of that all is are you going to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, not staying up too late, getting enough sleep so you can actually work out and eat right and all that fun stuff. And it all kind of connects together. And that's what, again, I've said it a million times, but that's what this show is ultimately about, is finding those connections. And this is how it all works together. So, if you start to take on too much in a certain area, and it overlaps, and then it starts to deteriorate in another, whether it's your family, whether it's your personal health, whatever, at what point do you need to kind of recalibrate those things? And it's been, obviously, for me personally, it's been there's just been a lot of different things going on, and a lot of different scheduling. I don't want to say issues, but there's just been a lot of different, scheduling things out of the norm, and having all of these different things. And I haven't really kind of settled into a, we'll say, quote unquote, routine with the Grow Show, which is the show that I'm doing with the Grow program with Jason Cass that we host every other Wednesday. The second and fourth Wednesday of every month we do that. I think that's Wednesdays at 1:00 Eastern. So if anybody's interested in the insurance world that is listening to this, feel free to stop over. That's a live Google Hangout as well. You can come in and ask questions and interact with us. It's just, you got all that going on. You got obviously the grind with fearlessly questioning. And then you got the day-to-day work. I guess it has left very little room to grow beyond that, these day-to-day tasks. And how much room do we need to leave, for this overcrowding, to kind of prevent this overcrowding, to allow for that, that little bit room of growth? And are we able, and are you recognizing it as, one, is it happening? Is it not happening? Do you have too much stuff to prevent you from being able to grow? And is that overload getting in the way of other things, other opportunities that might be more beneficial to you? I don't know. Just a question that I wanted to ask you, just kind of my little rant of, when is too much enough, or when is enough too much, or, whatever the saying is. I didn't say it very good there. But really just questioning, doing things, doing what you can, just really questioning not doing a disservice to, the different, organizations, jobs, tasks that you have in front of you, and being able to continue to push them forward. Because even if you're just kind of treading water in all of them, if you're not pushing them forward, then you're ultimately, again, essentially going backwards. But that's obviously a topic for another day, just a kind of a little mini vent or rant on my part. But I am really looking forward to talking with Alex about the whole proximity thing. I definitely have a little surprise in store for everybody that does show up for the live show, and of course the replay as well if you catch this in the podcast after the fact. It'll definitely be cooler if you're watching the show live, or if you're watching it, period. If you're listening to it after the fact, you're probably not going to care as much, but it will be a first in Fearlessly Questioning history, so come back for that to see what's going on. And we will be talking with Alex this Thursday at 1 p.m., so an hour earlier than our normal scheduled time. We had to move it up for Alex. She can do 1, and we're doing it Thursday at 1 p.m., so be sure to come an hour early with us and fearlessly question your proximity. And if you are keeping the people, and if you are pushing the people, and if you are paying enough attention to the people who are closest to you. So appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm Joey Giangola. Take it easy, everyone.